It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday and it's time for...
Playing Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show right here on...
Magic TV.
And we have a bumper edition this week. We have 5 tricks. 5 tricks on this review show. I'm working very hard this week. I'm performing so much magic. Honestly, it's difficult to... Okay, maybe I'm not working that hard. 4 of the tricks are going to be done by him. 1 of the tricks is going to be done by me. But why have a dog and bark yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we're going to start off with one of Ryland's favourite magicians. Now, this is somebody who Ryland absolutely loves. Who are we talking about?
Jeki.
Jeki. Oh my! And Jeki has just brought out a brand new trick that is in dealers worldwide, which takes the classic Skinner 3-card Monte to an entirely new level. Let's have a look at this right now. So first up, we have, like I said, a new trick by Jeki. And this is an accessory designed to take the classic 3-card Monte that was popularised by Michael Skinner, that Murphys do an awful lot with. If you know, they just re-released it. We reviewed it a bit recently, didn't we?
Yeah.
But
I've got the red and the blue one.
Yeah, you've got the red and the blue one. But what Jeki's done is he's put together 3 card stands that are used in conjunction with the Skinner 3-card Monte, although you do get the cards in the package as well. So you do get the cards, you get the stand, you get everything you need. And it's designed to actually be an accessory for that card routine that makes it a little bit more deceptive, but more importantly, lifts it up. Because if you know the original Skinner 3-card Monte, it's all done sort of on the table. So it has to be done close up. You couldn't do it in a parlour or a cabaret situation.
Yeah.
With these stands, it allows you to stand the cards up, which means now it's visible from a distance. So even people at the back of a big room could kind of see what you're doing. So it's perfect for people that perform on stage, like you, but also the stands are gimmicked in such a way that you've got some very, very clean displays that wouldn't be possible with the original 3-card Monte. So we're going to have a look at a performance, aren't we? We're going to have a look at a performance of Ryland performing this to you guys so you can see exactly what it looks like. And then we'll talk about what we think.
Okay, so I've got like 3 card stands here. As you can see, I've got this one. 1, 2, 3. They hold cards, and these are the cards I've got. Just spread them out. I've got, I'll show you here. I've got an ace, a 3, and a 2. Your job is to follow the ace. So if I take the ace, as you can see, I'm going to take the ace right here. I'm going to put the ace right here. 3, 2. I'm going to take the 3. You put the 3 right there. That leaves us with the 2. I'm going to put the 2 right here as well. So it says your job is to follow the ace. So if I move it like this, move it again like this, where's the ace? Well, if you said here, you'll be wrong. If you said here, you'll be wrong. But if you said here, you would be right. Oh my! But that's pretty cool. Yeah, but as you can see, pretty cool. I'm going to take the cards. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll stack them like this. Take 1, take 2, take 3. So we've got these cards here, and we've got the stands. We'll mix the cards up. As you can see. Now we've got the stands. So we've got 1 stand, we've got the 2nd stand, we've got the 3rd stand, as you can see. So maybe it's confusing having all these cards, so I'm going to take the 3 and I'm going to put it away here and move this out of the way. So now we've got the ace and we've got the 2. If I put the ace here and the 2 here, and I'll mix them up like this. Mix, mix. If you said the ace was here or here, you would be wrong. And the reason is the ace is over here. Oh my!
So first of all, really good performance, right? I also liked your Jeki impression. Can I see it again?
Oh my!
Oh my, very good. And we saw Jeki at the session, didn't we?
Yeah, and he did a lecture.
And he did this.
The longest lecture there.
Yeah, it was. It was 90 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I could have watched him for another 90 minutes. He was amazing.
Yeah.
But he did this in his lecture.
Yeah.
And immediately you bought one.
Yeah.
It's now available worldwide from dealers. You love this. Tell me why you love it. Tell me what's so good about it. Go.
Well, it's like really good because it's They don't. I can't expose it, but they don't.
It's hard to tell you
Yeah.
why you love it without exposing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
How do I say this?
Bear with him, he'll get down in a minute. He will. I know what he's doing right now. He's thinking of every single sentence and he's trying it out in his head and he's going, no, that's going to expose the trick. No, stop. Try again.
So it's a method
Yes.
that no audience member will realise is there.
Yes.
And it's very clever.
Yeah, it's an unseen
Very
gimmick.
clever.
The stands make the logical sense, don't they?
Yeah.
Because you would, if you're performing to a group of people, whether it be at a bar or at a restaurant or on stage or in a parlour situation, the use of stands to stand those cards up makes absolute sense.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want them on the table.
Yeah, so it's a prop that kind of, with a gimmick that hides in plain sight. But, you know, for those of you that know the original Skinner 3-card Monte, as soon as you put those cards inside those stands, you can turn the stands around and you've got a complete full display of the full side of the card, which you can't do doing it without the stands, can you?
No.
And that's what makes this so good. Do you need this? No. Is Skinner a 3-card Monte a classic trick in its own right? Absolutely. However, by incorporating these, A, it makes the displays a lot cleaner, which is good.
Yeah.
And B, and the big thing for me is it now allows you to perform it to a bigger group of people. Like you're at the House of Secrets next week. I could see you doing this at the House of Secrets on stage because the cards are now like that, so you can see them
And you
from a
can
distance.
hold them like that, so they could, like, cards are here, and show them like that.
Yeah, really, really good, really smart. If you perform in an environment where these are appropriate, then it's great. There's obviously, I don't really think this is a walk. Well, it's not a walk around trick. It's not a trick that you would do where you're like banquet, because you'd struggle to put those down on the table and have people on the other side of the table see. But for the right time, right place, for the right performer, you saw this and immediately you were like, I could do this.
Yeah.
For the right time, right place, if you perform in the right type of environment, this is worth its weight in gold. It takes an easy trick and makes it even easier, and improves it in so many different ways. It's not examinable really, but I mean, you wouldn't want it examinable. This is like a piece that you perform to an audience. You haven't got somebody up with you. I don't think that's a factor at all. I just really, really like the concept of this, and I really like the routine. What about you?
Yeah.
The tutorial is about 10 minutes long. That's all it needs to be. There's no live performance. There is a performance to camera.
But we have seen it live, so we do know it is.
Yeah, we have seen it. Jeki do this to like 300-400 people at the session. He also includes some advice at the end on how to actually use this on Instagram. And he talks about when he put it on Instagram, he got like 1 million views, and he did a 20-second video and did it all to music. And you've actually shot this for Instagram as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I love this. I think this is great. If you can see a place where this would be usable for you, this is awesome. I'm going to give this 100%. I think this is really good. What about you?
I think it's really good as well. It is insane.
So what are you giving it?
120%.
Oh wow, it's Alakazam levels. 120% from Ryland, 100% from me. It's a really good trick. It's not that expensive, and it'll bring the house down. Let's move on to the next trick. So next up we have 5-second challenge by Henry Evans and Daniel Mormina. Now, I'm a big fan of Henry Evans. I've told people before, I really like Henry's material. You did some of his stuff on Instagram recently, tribute to Veroni, where the box shrunk. This is not great, I'll be honest with you. There's a lot that I don't like about this, and I'm going to go through exactly what I don't like about it in a minute. But we're going to show you a performance. Now, Ryland performed this on social media, and the footage you're going to see is from Ryland's Instagram account. I honestly think that Instagram is really one of the only places where you can actually get away with performing this. So we're going to show you the Instagram reel that Ryland did a little while ago, and then after you've seen the Instagram reel, we'll talk you through what we think.
Okay, so I've got my dad behind the camera. Dad, I've got a pack of mini cards.
Got it? Yeah.
Now, what you're going to do is you're just going to touch one card. I'll just hold them here.
That one there?
That one there.
Yeah.
This is the card you got.
Yep, got it.
I'm going to show everyone.
Got it?
Card here. We put that right there. Mini cards. Watch this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. You can see there's one card right there.
What's happened?
There's one card.
It's underneath the...
It's underneath the thing.
It's under the cellophane.
Yeah, it's under this. Yeah, and look, if I open it up, this is the cool thing. Open it up like this. There's one card. That card is the 9 hearts. Was that your card?
Yes!
What?
Okay, so in essence, that's what it is. You have a mini pack of cards, you have a big pack of cards, a card is selected from the mini pack, it's put on top of the big pack of cards, you push it through, they can examine it, it really has gone through the cellophane, they unwrap it and it's their card.
Yeah.
It's about a 15 to 20 minute tutorial. They go through how to do this with a signed card as well, which involves a switch after they've unwrapped the cellophane. I don't think the signed card version is as good, but in essence, that's what it is. Now, there's a few problems with this that I think makes it very impractical for anything other than social media. And the first problem is the gimmick. Now, I don't know, it doesn't really show up on camera, but the gimmick that you use on the regular deck of cards in order to prepare the deck, I don't want to give too much away, but the gimmick that you use to prepare the deck on the regular deck of cards doesn't look very good at all, does it?
No.
Like, you would be able to tell immediately, if you put that down in front of a group of people, you would be able to tell immediately what was going on. Like, you'd just be able, you said, if you went and said, hey, I've got a sealed pack of cards here, I'm going to put it down on the table, immediately you would know that there's something up with that deck of cards. The other thing is the gimmick that's used with the regular deck of cards in order to prepare the deck isn't locked in place in any way, shape or form. So in other words, from a practicality point of view, because the tutorial's quite weak because they don't cover anything like this, from a practicality point of view, if you were going to go into this, let's just assume that the gimmick looked really good for a minute, which it didn't. In order to get into this, you'd have to take a deck of cards out your pocket, but you'd never be able to have the gimmick in position. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to line it up and then walk up to the table with the gimmick in position and put the deck down. That's the only way you could do this, because you couldn't do it in the middle of an act. You'd have to like walk out with it, so it'd have to be kind of an opener.
Do you think that gimmick would last that long?
I don't think it'll last that long either. I mean, to be honest, as I say, it looks terrible anyway. Now, the other problem is, you saw the moment where Ryland put his hand down and the card went through. In order to do that, you have to have your hand prepared. Now, it's prepared in a similar way to The Fall by Noel Coulter, but with a different thing, without giving too much away, with a different thing. Now, I said in The Fall, I love the fact that it was practical, because Noel went through a practical way to bring out a deck of cards, show your hands empty, bring out a deck of cards, and prepare as you're taking the cards out of the case. And that's one of the reasons that The Fall, for me, was so practical. Now, with this, the element that you're given to do the same thing as what Noel's doing in The Fall you can't do that on the fly like Noel did in The Fall. So the only way to do it is to prepare your hand beforehand. You had to, before you shot that video, prepare your hand, which takes a few seconds. And again, you couldn't do that in front of the audience at all. So you'd have to, before you go over, you'd have to prepare your hand, line up the gimmick on the card box, and then boom. And then the other thing is, when you're using The Fall and you've got that moment where the card falls through the cellophane, immediately you can ditch what you need to ditch because you've got the deck of cards here in play. With this, you haven't. You can't ditch because you haven't got anything in play. So when you've done this moment and it goes through the cellophane, you're stuck here right now at this point. You can't ditch it back onto a deck because you're not holding a deck. Even if you were holding a deck, you can't ditch it onto the deck because it's not the thing that you're actually trying to ditch. So in other words, you then have to kind of go south into your pocket, which maybe you could do with some audience management. But again, it's, you know, again, the problem with it is, you know, it's not the right time to do that, if that kind of makes sense. And the gimmick is not a pack of cards anyway, so yeah. That's the other issue with it. I mean, on social media, you literally just dropped it into a savant, didn't you? Yeah. Which is fine for social media, but that ain't going to play in the real world. And then the actual effect itself is okay. I mean, in all honesty, that's the good part about it. It looks boom, like it goes through and it's great. From a practicality point of view, you're wrecking a deck of cards every time because you have to prep a factory sealed deck. So unless you happen to have in your house a shrink wrapping machine, the only way you're going to be able to do this again is by taking another brand new deck of cards, very, very carefully preparing it, which took me about 2 or 3 minutes, and then you could do it again. That's the only way you could do it. Or you take 5 brand new decks of cards and you prepare one each time, which means it's not really one that you could reset at all, to be honest. So those are the negatives. I mean, the positive is that moment where it goes through looks really good.
Yeah, it does.
But the big problem is, and the reason why both of us don't think this will work in the real world, is because just the gimmick doesn't look very good at all. When the gimmick is on the deck of cards, if you looked at that deck for any length of time, you'd see what's going on. I mean, Henry talks about how you can put it onto a spectator's hand. I would not want to put that deck.
No.
I wouldn't want to put that deck of cards into a spectator's hand.
Because if you just hold it and just tilt it a tiny bit,
it'd be done. You'd be done. Because it's not locked in place or anything like that. They haven't got a locking mechanism built into. No. So, yeah, I mean, it's a bit disappointing. I like Henry. I like Henry Evans' material. I think it's great. Not too keen on this, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you do a lot on Instagram. So for you, this was probably worth it because it did look good on your Instagram channel. It got a lot of views. So maybe from that point of view, it's worth it. If you're a social media guy and you want to do this on social media, like Ryland or Jeki or whatever, then absolutely fine, 100%. But if you're looking for something to work in the real world, unfortunately, there's too many negatives.
Yeah, too many negatives.
Too many negatives for one moment of magic. It's not instantly repeatable. There's a moment where you're going to be left holding out with a very, and there's no help in terms of routining as to how to ditch the thing that you're holding out. The gimmick doesn't look very good. You have to prepare it beforehand. You have to prepare your hand beforehand. Oh, and the other thing is, once you've prepared your hand and you do the thing, in order to go into the next trick, you're going to have to unprepare your hand, which you can do by putting your hands behind your back. But then, in order to go to the next table, you'd have to... Oh, no, it wouldn't work. No. We don't need to labour the points. I'm going to give this 10% because... No, 20%. I imagine you're going to give it a bit more because you've done it on social media. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm going to give it 20%. I'd never do this.
40%.
40%. So it's 40% from Ryland. If you're into social media, if you do Reels or you do Shorts or you do TikTok or something like that, then this might be worth it for you. But if you're not, then I wouldn't bother, to be perfectly honest. There's better ways of doing it. 40% from Ryland, 20% from me. Okay, so next up we've got Y Wand by Mr. Y. So his name's Mr. Y, and he named the wand after himself. Y Wand by Mr. Y. And it's by your mate, Bon Lee. Your mate, Bon Lee, where you get your balls from and your cue balls from and all sorts of wonderful jiggery-pokery. So as soon as this came in, Ryland was like, yes, please, I will have that. Thank you very much. You're really into manipulation, aren't you? You're really into...
Which is why I love this so much.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you are into manipulation... I mean, let's be honest. This is not a close-up trick. This is not a trick that you would do table hopping. This is a trick that you would do if you're on stage and you like doing magic to music without speaking, and you like doing manipulation, then this is going to be something that you probably want to pick up. You've never done wand manipulation before, although this has spurred you on to wanting to learn it. So Ryland's going to do a performance that he put on his Instagram channel. You're currently building up a bigger kind of routine with this, aren't you? And you want to get a second one and do all of this. But let's have a look at the performance. The project comes with like 3 or 4 routines. This is routine 1. Let's have a look at that. You can have a look at a performance. This is Ryland. This is taken directly from Ryland's Instagram account. And then when we've done the performance, we can have a look and see what we think. Yeah? Let's have a look at it. So, I love those flip stick vanishes and stuff. I wouldn't have thought you could do that. Your hands are so small. Like, I wouldn't have thought you could do the whole flip sticky thing. The routine teaches you, without giving too much away here, the routine teaches you, there's loads of stuff in here, isn't it? So the routine teaches you how to do all of those vanishes. There's lots of different routines on the tutorial. No live performances, but there are performances to camera. But what it allows, it teaches you all of the different moves, all the stuff that you saw Ryland do.
I never
teaches
tried
you.
this one though.
No, you need to learn that one.
Yeah, I can do. Look.
Yeah, that looks good actually. That looks good. Boom. There you go. You really need to work on this. This is fun. It's walking around the house with this just all the time, just like spinning it around and doing stuff there. But the instructions teach you a whole bunch of different routines. What you have here is a really nicely weighted wand that will work for manipulation.
When I first saw this, I thought it was paper, but no.
Ouch. Yes, it is metal. It is solid. And the other thing is, it's gimmicked to allow you to do the colour change. So you can do a three-way colour... Oh, here we go. You can do a three-way colour change.
Red. Yellow.
Yeah. And there's lots of different ways that you can actually do that as well. But it's gimmicked really, really nicely to enable you to do... Okay, chill out. To do all of the... it's gimmicked really nicely to enable you to do all of the different colour changes.
And then the hanky it did.
Yeah, it's hollowed out so you can make a hanky appear at the end. Which is nice, you know, as a finale. Yeah, like 3 or 4 different routines, 3 or 4 different presentational ideas. It's also not that big.
It's not, it's like...
Yeah, it's not that big, so it's perfect for people with smaller arms or smaller hands like him. And it allows you to... It's a nice teaching on how to do wand manipulation.
Yeah.
It's a really nice teaching. You've been wanting to learn wand manipulation for a while, and this is like a little project that's been able to teach you how to do it. The wand itself is very well made. This Y wand is really well made. Yeah, I mean, it'd probably work really well for a kid's show. You really need to be in front of an audience. Manipulators can do it.
I would say after I've done this, I'll go into...
The other one. Yeah, that one there.
I think it's called Super Wand.
He's now putting a new opener together for his show with lots of different wands and lots of different manipulation.
We got Dancing Cane, we got the Y wand, we got the Super Wand.
Absolutely.
In fact, we'll go into the Super Wand next.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. But the I would say a kids entertainer might be able to get something like this.
Yeah.
Like, no, you probably haven't thought about this, but it's like, right, I'm going to try and make this wand turn yellow, or everyone shout yellow. There you go. I'm going to make this wand turn yellow. Oh, it didn't work. I'm so sorry it didn't. What do you mean it did work? It did work, Rick. No, it hasn't worked. Look, it's red. If it had worked, it would have been yellow. I wanted it to go, what do you mean it's worked? It has worked. No, it hasn't. You know, you could kind of do that.
And then you can go into, look, it's definitely not yellow. It's definitely not, see, it's blue. Wait, what? It's blue, what?
Yeah, that would be really funny. Like, I could see this working really well for a kids show entertainer as well as a manipulator, but it is designed...
so, as in, like, you were saying, sort of like, hang on. Yes, he was like, so I'm going to try and make this one yellow. So, yeah, so that's what I'm going to try to do. And then they're like, it's yellow. And then I'm like, no, it's not. Look, let me check. See, it's not yellow. So, as I said, if you don't interrupt me this time, I'm going to try and make the wand yellow. What do you mean it's yellow? Look, it's not yellow. Look, wand is not yellow. See?
Yeah, that would be...
Look, I'll show you. Look, it's blue. Oh, what? It's what? It's blue? What?
Yeah.
It's red? Huh? I don't get this. Look, we're trying to make the ones yellow, okay? Okay, it's yellow.
Yeah, that would be really funny. That would be really, really, really funny. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. You have to have an idea in mind for this. It's not the easiest thing in the world. It's going to take practice. You're practicing it all the time at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's like about half an hour tutorial, explains everything that you need to know, explains all the moves, teaches you how to use everything, lots of different ideas, lots of different sequences. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give it 79%. There is no way I will ever do this. I know it's not. It's not my sort of magic.
You will.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you will. You're doing your kids show.
No, I won't.
You will.
No, because I'll leave it for you and you can do it in the kids show for me instead. 79%. I think it's really good. It gets the highest mark I can give it without actually doing it because I'm not going to do it. What are you going to give it?
100.
100%. What a surprise. 100%. If you're looking for a nice one for stage manipulation, this is probably the one you want to go for. It's really good. Now we can have a look at another one from Bondley as well. Let's have a look at this one next.
So this is Super Wand by Hazy Wang Bondley and MS Magic.
Yep, and Super Wand is
awesome!
It is awesome. It looks a little bit like a normal magic wand.
Yes, I can.
But it allows you to do a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So we're gonna get a performance video up. Again, this was shot for Ryland's Instagram while he was rehearsing it. Have a look at this performance video. You'll get an idea of what it does.
So you can see normal.
And again, it looks like a normal one, but it's capable of so much.
And you can take the top off, and it looks.
Well, can I do the performance? Would that be okay?
Yeah,
Can I do the?
yeah,
Can I play the performance?
Yeah, go.
I'll play the performance.
Yeah, okay.
We'll do that now. So there you go.
This is Super Wand.
Yeah, Ryland gets really excited about anything to do with manipulation. So yeah, it's Super Wand. So what you saw there are a couple of the things that the wand does. So you can have this really lovely moment where you take the end off, you put it away in your pocket, and it comes back really visually and looks really good. Yeah.
You can do stuff.
Yeah, you can make it come back, and then you can take it off again, and make it go back, and take it off again, and make it go back.
And then you can do this. Yeah, I can have it. You're gonna take the top off like this. You take it. Doesn't come back on.
And then you finish off by making it into a cane.
And I'll put this back.
So those are two of the things it does. So one of the things it does is you can have the wand coming off and going back on over and over again. Secondly, it turns into a cane. Now, there's a third part to this. And the third part is a little extra gimmick. So when you've turned it into a cane, you can reach into your pocket or into your case and palm this extra gimmick. And
so
then
you can do a dancing cane.
Yeah, you add it to the cane and then it turns it into a perfectly balanced, perfectly weighted dancing cane. The reason Ryland hasn't actually even bothered learning this is because you've got your own dancing cane routine.
My own dancing cane.
With a light up cane that you, your favourite cane really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
best cane.
Yeah, so he's not going to learn another dancing cane when he's already got a cane act that he does that he's happy with. So, but understand that once you've got to the point where you've made this into a cane, you can very easily turn this into a dancing cane, go into a dancing cane act. Now, if you do that, there's something you need to understand from the tutorial. The tutorial is by Bondley. It's good. There's no live performances, but he goes through everything. It's very clear. The problem, and he teaches how to do the stuff that you saw Ryland do in that performance. And he also teaches you how to make it into a dancing cane. He, however, does not teach you any moves with the dancing cane.
No.
He says, if you want...
I know the dancing cane.
Yes, but he says, if you want to learn the dancing cane, you're going to have to go and get another resource. So he teaches you how to make it into a dancing cane, doesn't teach you how to actually... which I think is a bit naughty in a way, because he's advertised it as a dancing cane, but he's not teaching how to do even... It would have been nice if he taught a couple of simple...
If he taught the simple move where it's going around like
that. Just a couple of simple moves I think would have made it even better.
Not the one.
No, not all of the crazy stuff that you do, but just a couple of simple... No.
Yeah, just like the calm one,
Yeah. Now the other thing that I'm going to point out is, again, he's thinking about this because he wants to do a wand manipulation act, which I think is great.
Yeah.
However, I think this would make a fantastic trick for a kid show. Because Because what you could do is you could say, I've got a magic...
You do the silver scepter.
Well, no, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking, look, I've got a magic wand here. This wand is absolutely brilliant. It's got two white ends, it's got a middle, and it'll never break on me. It'll never break. The ends will never come off. Oh, it's come off. I tell you what, I'll put that away in my pocket. Because you don't need, a lot of people don't realise, but you don't actually need two ends with a wand. As long as you've got one end, you're okay. You don't need two ends. What's the matter?
You've got two ends.
What? I'm so sorry. Let me just take that and put it away in my pocket. There we go. You don't need two ends.
You got two ends.
I'm sorry, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it in my pocket. You don't need
You got
to...
two ends.
This is crazy. I'm going to take it off. I tell you what, I'll hold it here. If I hold it here, it can't... Oh my gosh, what's it? That sort of thing, I think, would be... And then amazingly, you could say, well, you know, this isn't going to work anyway. Let me get rid of that. This isn't going to work anyway, because to be honest, if I was going to need to do that, if I was going to use a magic wand for my kids show, I'd need a big magic wand. This is not a big magic wand, so I can't use it.
It's a big one.
Oh my gosh, look at the size of this, man. Like, amazing. For a kids show,
That would be good.
this is cool. So don't just think about this as a manipulator thing, because I'm not a stage manipulator. You are, or you want to be. I'm not. I, however, love performing kid shows, and I think this is killer for a kid show.
For a kid show.
I think it is. I think it's really good.
It is.
It's an instant reset. It's really well made. It'll last a long time. But this one I am going to use.
Yeah, see?
So this one I am going to use. Oh, you want the end back? Sorry. Have you got it?
Where's your pocket?
It's here. Yeah. It's so weird. You're so weird.
It is.
There we go.
Thank you.
So yeah, this one I am going to use.
I'm going to use it more.
I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to get myself another one. I'm going to give this 90%. What about you?
120.
120%.
Yeah.
Wow. 120% from Ryland. 90% from me. Great for kids shows. Great for parlour shows or stage. But once again, really seriously think about whether this is for you. If you're a close-up magician, I don't think this is necessarily going to be the trick for you. But if you perform on stage, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, 90% from me, 120% from him. We've got one last trick left to review, and we're going to do that right now. Okay, so the final thing that we've got to review today is Power Bank by Gonzalo something. Can you read that?
By Gonzalo.
Yeah?
Albiñana.
There you go. Gonzalo Albiñana. I'll go for that. Power Bank. Now, what Power Bank is, it's a really nice... like, who was it? I think it was Sean Fields, but I might be wrong. I can't remember. You've got a razor blade, and you've got like 5 pieces of thread, and they have to pull up, and the one that's left in the hand is tied. And yeah, I've seen it with money. There's a lot of different versions like this. What Gonzalo's done is he's taken that and applied it to a phone. So what you have is you have a phone. You have some leads wrapped around the phone. They pull on the leads, and always, every single time, the one that's left in your hand is the one that's wrapped around the phone. I'm going to do a performance of it to Ryland, so you can see exactly what it is that's happening here. And then after the performance, I'll talk about what I think. Okay, Ry, so I took your phone off you without you realising. I now have it here, and we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
If you win the game, you get the phone back.
Okay.
If you don't win the game, I keep the phone. You never get it back. You're not allowed your phone ever again. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I've got 3 charging wires that I also stole out your bedroom. I've got charging wire for your watch and your two charging wires for your phone.
Oh.
I'm basically stealing all of your stuff right now. So the idea is I've tied one of these to the phone. One of these wires are tied to the phone. The other 2 are not tied. You're going to pull on 2 of the wires. Now, if you pull on the wire and it can't come off because it's tied around the phone, then you get the phone back. It's as simple as that. You win, you get the phone back. And not only do you get the phone back, I'll give you £100. If, however, you get the wrong wires twice, and I'm left with the one wire that's tied around the phone, and I somehow manage to influence you, then I keep the phone. You never get it back.
How about if I get the 2 wrong ones, I get the phone?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not going to happen. So, right, here we go. You're playing for your phone and £100. So, first of all, pick a wire. There's 1, 2, 3. Pull one of them.
The headphone wire.
The headphone wire. Give it a pull, give it a pull, give it a pull. There you go. Oh, bad luck. That wasn't tied on the phone. Bad luck. Don't worry. Maybe, just maybe, you'll get it right again. So, hang on. Make a decision. You get it wrong, you never get your phone back. You get it right, £100. Pick one, and just, you can't pull both of them.
This I'm pulling one.
No.
I'm pulling one.
No.
This one.
One has to be dropped.
Mm.
You gonna pull that one? You gonna pull that one? Which one? This one, you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Give it a pull. Oh, mate.
Oh.
Look at that. I ended up with the wire that's tied around the phone. This is the one you should have gone for. I win, and you have to give me a big round of applause for being so clever. And more importantly, you never get your phone back again. Say bye to Indy. You're done. Okay, so that is power bank, and you get two gimmicks in the packaging. You get a black one and you get a white one, so you can use white leads and you can use black leads. Gonzalo talks about how you can actually use black and white leads if you want to. You can do it as a 50-50 by just having two leads wrapped around it, or you can do it as a much more difficult proposition by having like 7 or 8 leads wrapped around it, or 3 leads like I did with Ryland.
Yeah, and then it would be a 33.3333333333333.
Yeah, it would. That's absolutely right. It'd be a 33.33333. What? I got to be honest. I don't really like this. I mean, the tutorial is good, don't get me wrong, it's about a 40-minute tutorial. Gonzalo goes through the history of the product, he goes through exactly where his inspiration came from. That was very nice to hear from. He also talks about how you can use multiple wires, he talks about how you can use different coloured wires, he talks about how you can use your own phone, how you can use a spectator's phone, how you can set it up on the fly. He talks about how to actually end clean at the end so that you can have everything examined. He talks about how to ditch the gimmick. He talks about everything. It's just very uninspiring, to be perfectly honest. The gimmick doesn't look as good as I thought it would do. So, in other words, I don't know what it looked like on camera, but when you're up close, it's kind of obvious what's going on. You can tell that it's not wrapped around. I don't want to give too much away, but you can tell it's not wrapped around, can't you, Ryan?
Yeah.
You okay? Did you zone out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. You can tell no, I'm just saying.
I was thinking of something you can do with this.
Okay. Well, you can tell that the gimmick's not really wrapped around the phone.
Yeah.
And the problem is the way it's constructed, because it's kind of a challenge type thing. The way it's constructed at the end, when you show that the one wire is wrapped around.
You're not actually going to be able to say, look, if you get the one that's wrapped around, you keep the phone. I think what you're going to have to say, if you get the ones that aren't wrapped around, you get to keep the phone.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's. And
then there's a 66.66666. But St. John's.
Good for you. But yeah, I mean, that's my main concern. My main concern is the gimmick doesn't really hold up to close scrutiny. And the problem is, because this is a challenge trick, I think that's a problem. And I just think it doesn't, when they're pulling on the wire, you know, because it's not tied on there. It's not like it's tied on there. It's just wrapped around a couple of times. And when I showed this to Sarah, your mom, and she looked at it and she was like, well, weren't they all just wrapped around and you were just pulling and they were untying? Like,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like it's because they're not tied on there, physically tied, and they're just wrapped around. Yeah, that's what Thea thought, that's what Sarah thought, that's what you thought. So maybe layman will go to that thought process as well, and there's no way to prove that that's the case or not. Yeah, Thea's a layman. So yeah, I don't really like it. I was excited to see this, to be honest, because I like the idea of the plot. I thought it was a very interesting plot, but I think...
And then when you got it, it went...
Yeah, it's just not as good. It's not terrible, don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy comes across as a very nice guy, and the tutorial is very well shot, and the gimmicks are obviously well made. And
Was there live performance?
No, I don't think there was.
No live performance.
No live performance. I'm going to give this 60%. It's not terrible. If you liked the performance and you want to do this sort of thing, then that's fine. I just think it's quite messy. I think that the way you'd do it if you did it in an actual gig is borrowing a phone. But 20, you really don't like this, do you? No. I remember showing it you and I really tried to make it look as good as it could, and you were like, is that it? That's exactly what you said to me. It's like, that's a bit pants, isn't it? That was his exact words. Is that it? That's a bit pants. And then you watched the tutorial and you thought it was really pants. 20% from him, 60% from me. I'm not as harsh as Ryland. I think it's okay. It's definitely not for me. Yes, you are. It's okay, but I'm never going to do it. And I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed with this. 60% from me, 20% from Ryland. Let's wrap this up, kid.
Yeah. That's another review show in the bag. That's another review show in the bag. That's another review show in the bag.
That is another review show in the bag. Thank you once again for joining us right here on
Magic TV.
Don't forget, if you want to follow Ryland on Instagram, he tends to perform all the stuff that we're reviewing on his channel before the review show goes out. So if you want to get an idea of what we're going to be reviewing, just go and follow Ryland the Kid Magician on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. You're almost on 16,000 subscribers on Facebook.
Yeah, and Instagram.
And Instagram now, man. You're doing really well. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you can go and check out Netrix
on www.thenetrix.cookies.
It's not dot cookies!
Cookie!
Not cookies. It's
Cookie.
not It's not cookies.
Cookie.
It's not cookies. I sit
Cookie.
here every week and listen to you say cookies. It's not cookies. It's .com.
Cookie.
I don't even know where people are going to end up if they go to .cookies. It's not
Cookie.
.com. It's .com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Just say goodbye.
Bye.
See ya. It's com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie!
Com.
Cookie! Cookie!